Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Today on The Young and the Restless, Tessa and Aria turn up safe. Chance questions the Newmans and Michael, and Ian evades death. All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, Soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. At the ranch, Adam looks out the door as Nikki tells Victor the ambulance will be there soon. Victoria tells her father to keep his eyes open as he tries to go to sleep. His eyes roll up in his head as she says, "Look at Mom." Victor tells Nikki, "You're so beautiful." At Sharon's place, Maria looks out the window, frantic, and flashes to her argument with Tessa, which ended with her saying, "I can't believe you do this to me." Sharon urges Mariah not to think the worst. Mariah is trying, but Tessa and Aria have been gone all night. She's sure Ian has them. Sharon hopes Tessa's just blowing off some steam after their fight. Mariah knows Tessa. She wouldn't take the baby without letting her know. She understands that her mother is trying to make her feel better. But they need to face reality. That lunatic has taken my family. Sharon says if Ian's goal is to win her sympathy, he wouldn't harm Tessa or Aria. Maria says he has a hair-trigger temper, and she provoked him at society. He's probably given up hope of a relationship with her, and is just taking her family to hurt her in the worst way imaginable. Sharon reminds her that Tessa is smart and strong. Mariah knows Ian is capable of hurting a child. She is living proof of that. He has no conscience and no soul, and Aria is just so little. Suddenly, there's a knock on the door. Mariah panics, thinking it's the police with bad news. Sharon opens the door, and Tessa is standing there with the baby. Maria rushes over and gasps, I'm so sorry, as she embraces her. At the ranch, Nick tells Ian to stay put. An ambulance is on the way. Ian knows he's hoping he'll die before it gets there. He urges him to use the gun and finish him. You'd rather watch me die slowly and painfully. Nick says it wouldn't come close to the pain he's caused others, so it sounds pretty cool to him. At Sharon's place, Mariah tells Aria she missed her so much. She worries they should take her to the hospital. Tessa thinks she's fine. Mariah wants to call the police and update them. Tessa didn't realize how worried she was. Mariah says she was just gone. What would you have done? Tessa admits she'd have done the same thing. Sharon asks what happened to her. Maria blurts, "Did Ian take you?" Tessa says no. Mariah asks if she was really that angry with her. Tessa denies it. She shouldn't have asked her to forgive Ian. Maria's just glad they're home and safe. Tessa didn't want to stress her out. Sharon asks what happened last night. Tessa says whatever could go wrong, did go wrong. She explains that after the argument in society, she felt terrible when she got home. Aria woke up and she couldn't soothe her, so she took her for a drive. Sharon asks, in this weather? She asks if the car broke down. Tessa didn't check to see if the car was charged, and it ran out of juice. She pulled over, and her phone was dead. There she was on the side of the road, with no way to contact Maria. It gave her time to realize what an idiot she'd been. I'm so sorry. Maria pulled her into a hug. At the ranch, Adam asks Michael, how should we handle this? Michael says Victor will be okay, as long as the family all sticks to the narrative that Ian got the security guard's gun and shot Victor. He then saved the day. It's the truth. Michael marvels. The man never ceases to amaze me. Nearby, Claire tells Victoria she's worried about Grandpa. Victoria says he's very tough. Claire wonders how people like Jordan and Ian get like that, having no qualms about killing other people. How does that happen? Victoria doesn't know. She's just glad there's enough of the other kind of people out there, like your grandpa. In the living room, Victor summons up the energy to taunt Ian and tell him that he'll rot in hell. Ian says, of that I have no doubt. He then passes out. Nikki urges Victor to hang on. At Sharon's place, she asks how Tessa got home. Tessa says it was too cold to walk, so she had to wait. Finally, Abby found them. Of all people, she was driving by and recognized her car. She had left her phone at society, so she still had no way to call Maria. Suddenly, they hear sirens. Sharon stands up and says they're headed their way. Tessa learns Jordan is dead, and there's a lot she doesn't know. Sharon thinks the sirens are headed to the main house. Mariah gawps. What else could happen tonight? At the ranch, Chance hopes there's a good explanation for all of this. Adam says right now they're concerned about his father. The paramedic says Victor will be OK, but needs surgery. Victor refuses to go on a gurney. As they walk him out, he passes Ian, who is strapped to a gurney with his eyes shut. Victor tells Michael he appreciates him sticking around. I'll never forget it. Nikki walks over to Ian and muses. Well, here we are, for the last time. Your reign of terror against me and my family is finally over. She flashes back to the first time he came back to Geno City. You took your last breath knowing your vendetta against us was a failure. She rails about the years he abused her and so many others. Your life was a waste. Good riddance. Sharon, Maria, and Tessa walk into the main house, saying Aria will be fine with Faith. Nick tells them Victor was shot, but he's going to be OK. Sharon gulps. What? How? Nick leads them into the room where Ian is lying on the gurney. Mariah asks, is he? Nick tells them there was a struggle over a gun. Dad won. Chad spots them and is anxious to hear about Tessa's adventure. Sharon tells Mariah that Ian can never hurt them again. Maria says that will take a while to sink in. They're about to wheel Ian out when Sharon stops them to deliver a speech about how Heather Stevens didn't have to die. She had things to offer the world that were positive, unlike him. She tells Ian he is nothing, and if there is any justice in this world, then his pain has only just begun. Maria steps up and tells him that when she was a little girl, he was everything to her, her hero. She was always trying to get him to notice her and be nice to her. She flashes to a meeting with Ian after coming to Geno City in which he told her the world will see her as he sees her. He recalled the way she changed his life. They were always a great team. Mariah sobs. When I finally realized who you really were, when I finally tried to get away, you turned on me. You tortured me. She had nightmares for years that he would come back and ruin her life. She flashes to Sharon telling Mariah that a doctor stole her as a baby and Ian bought her. She was Cassie's twin. In the present, Mariah marvels that Ian ever thought he could win her back. She knows it's finally over. That tie between them is gone. She has a life now. She has a wife and a baby, family and friends that she loves, and they love me. So I guess you didn't beat me after all. The paramedics wheel Ian out the door as Mariah sobs. Sharon says they'll go back to her place and asks Claire to join them. In the ambulance, Nikki tells Victor it's hard to believe. First Jordan and then Ian, all in one night. Victor thinks the stars aligned in their favor. Nikki's not amused by his attempt at humor. He assures her he'll be all right and there's nothing else to worry about. Nikki can't understand what he was thinking attacking an armed man who had just shot him. At Sharon's place, Claire is finishing up telling her and the others about Victor's battle with Ian. The paramedics said the bullet passed straight through. They all feel they own him. Tessa asks how Jordan got involved. Maria and Claire fill her in on them teaming up. Sharon says Heather was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Ian needed a victim to pin the crime on her. Maria knows he drugged her, so she would do something so bad she'd be sent away forever. Tessa guesses. Then the way would be clear for him to get Maria. She can't believe she fell for his act. Maria assures her she's not the first person Ian has manipulated. That's what he does. Claire thinks this all happened because Ian and Jordan's really believed they were pursuing a noble goal in their minds. Being reunited with the girls they groomed since childhood was the way they thought the world should be. Maria and Claire hug Sharon as they say they survived. Sharon tells them they will both be stronger for it. At the ranch, Michael tells Chance that Ian showed up at the ranch because he was a nut job. He found out about Jordan and went crazy wanting revenge. Adam and Nick nod. It was a crazy night, and they were there to support the family. Michael says Ian managed to grab the security guard's gun and confessed to drugging Sharon and killing Heather. Chance is skeptical, but Michael thinks he was grieving and out for blood. Adam adds that he was about to kill all of them and make Nicky watch until his father stepped in. Chance says, "Oak, he's trying to process their story." Michael argues it actually happened. Chance muses about two villains ending up dead on Newman property on the same night. It strains credibility just a little. Michael says they were working together and their plans converged. What about that isn't credible? Chance says they're both dead now. Adam says none of them would be standing there right now if Victor hadn't stepped in. Michael tells him Mortensen will back up their version of events. Do you have any reason to doubt what we told you? At Sharon's place, Claire tells Maria they can go to bed tonight knowing Jordan and Ian can never hurt them again. They all agree it could have been a lot worse. Tessa's so sorry for worrying Mariah. The redhead says she has to believe that people like Ian and Jordan are the outliers in society. Sharon says they have to look to the future now. We have to focus on the healing. For me, that will be with Daniel and Lucy. It's the only way she knows how to bring some good from the darkness Ian brought to Genoa City. At the ranch, Chance will have to take their word for what happened. But he can't help but marvel at things always working out the way the Newmans need them to. He leaves, and Michael assures Adam and Nick there is no evidence to contradict what they told him. In the ambulance, Nikki frets. What if that second bullet had hit you instead? Victor would rather die than have someone hurt her. That's what she was afraid of. Victor curses about Ian and Jordan and says they're no longer a problem. End of story. In another ambulance, Ian wakes up in the back and opens his eyes as the paramedics, both in front, drive toward the hospital. Next on the Young and the Restless, Chelsea takes a risk with Adam. Dan Eel learns the truth about Heather's death, and Kyle pushes Claire to come clean.